I guess it's time to say RIP to another fursuit, and maybe they're retiring a fursuit. I think they just wanted to come up with something exciting, so they're killing off one of their fursuits. Because to me, this doesn't even. I don't know if you'll recognize this fursuit. To me, it doesn't even match up with what this is supposed to be. So, Nadakasi, beloved mountain gorilla whose photobomb led to global fame, they gotta talk about the globe, dies in caretaker's arms. Here's the photo they give. To me, that clearly just looks like a fursuit, especially if you just look at this hind section right here. But look at this one's hand, doing the triad claw. And I mean, just something about that hand looks very bizarre. But that's a hand sign, the triad claw. And gorillas are fursuits. This is just a fursuit. But anyways, you're supposed to recognize this gorilla, I guess, from this. And to me, it just looks like a completely different fursuit. And they make old looking ones. They make sick, decrepit looking ones. I mean, when the suits start to fall apart, they probably just, oh, we're gonna make an old, sick looking. We're gonna like go in and make it look extra sick. Because yeah, these clearly not the same suit. They go in, give them bald patches, and anyways, gorillas are fursuits. They're not real animals, and it's it's probably the biggest thing that they use to push evolution and to get people to think that they're just a monkey. And I almost never hear people bring up this. This is one simple fact that totally destroys any argument of evolution. Because the whole end game, to me, the whole gorilla thing is just as big as the outer space fantasy land. They're trying to they're trying to change the way that people view reality in a way to take you away from God and to make you seem random and just not important. That's why they want you to think that the earth is one thing among countless, when in reality this is the only place, this is it, this is all we got. And they want you to think that humans just came from the same place as a monkey. And in order to get you to think that, just like they make fake outer space stuff, they produce fake outer space media, they produce fake evolution media all the time. The platypus is an example of fake evolution media that they just push. And when they first came out with the platypus, people knew it was a hoax. People called it out for being a hoax, but they just keep pressing their lies. And then, like, I'm sure the farther you could go back, the more people that you would have that would say, no, that's a bunch of BS. Outer space is not real. But they're not writing books. They're not writing the history books, so you just never hear about them. Wow, off on tangents. Like, I just wonder, were there people 100 years ago who knew gorillas were fake? Because especially back then, gorillas were really bad. Like, the farther you go back, the fursuits look worse and worse. I just wonder if there were people, I think back to truthers of times past that would call out the BS in the media. You would just never hear about them. Well, that was a fun ramble. Do you guys remember this when this went viral? Yeah, there's a reason that gorillas stand up and act like humans, and there's a reason if you go to a gorilla enclosure at a zoo, they're gonna do cute stuff. I just watched a YouTuber who went to the zoo and they talked about, oh, the orangutans were hugging. One of them was hugging and it's like, yeah, they put on a show. You're going to the show and they're gonna put on a show every time you're there. And go watch go to my playlist, watch the fake animal videos on gorillas. I could just talk about this topic forever. I'll never get tired telling people the secret that gorillas are not real animals. They are people in fursuits. I think that there could be some truth to this statement. They like to talk in ways where things that they say can be interpreted in two different ways. And if you know the secret, you kind of get additional info. The Rangers and Gorillas had grown close. Speaking to the BBC in 2014, Mr. Bama, I think it's weird, Boma, it's very close to Obama. Mr. Bama said he loved Nadakasi as if she were his daughter. Just, I don't know if this person, the person in the suit was this person's daughter, but to me, it sounds like it is. That's just the way that these people are. I'm not saying that, like, for a fact this person was played by the daughter. These are just the types of tricks that these people like to play. Because then, see, they're not lying. Uh, they loved Nadakasi as if she were his daughter. It really could be his daughter in the suit. For reals. That's the point that I'm making. Because they're fursuits and with humans inside of them. That's another point that people often just don't even think about. People don't really make the connection of, oh, wait, aren't they supposed to be like really dangerous? But that's why they come up with these fake backstories. Well, this person is allowed to piggyback a gorilla because they cared for them from child. They'll always have some backstory about why the gorilla doesn't rip this person's face off of them. And they'll just make you think that these people are special gorilla whisperers, but the truth is that it's just a show. They're just putting on an act. You can find way more. I guess the point I want to make is this. You can find way more people up close and personal with gorillas than you can like with lions. Try to find people like really up close and personal with lions. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, because it does happen, but that's like, it's much more rare to see people that are willing to go up close and personal with lions or bears. It happens. There's people out there that do that stuff, but not like the amount of gorillas. It's like everybody, there are just so many people out there that, like this, have had a piggyback with the gorilla. And yeah. So on Thursday, Mr. Balma said that getting to know Nadakasi had helped. So this is again one of those statements that if you know the truth, it's kind of like there's like a hidden meaning behind what they're saying. Helped me to understand the connection between humans and great apes. The connection is that they're the same thing. That's the connection between humans and great apes. Of course, they want your mind going to evolution. But what they're really referencing is the hidden secret, which is that gorillas literally are, great apes literally are humans. That's what he's referencing by saying that he's been helped to understand the connection. But they want the asleep people thinking of, oh, he's talking about evolution. I loved her like a child. Again, it probably was this person's child in the suit. Netflix. I tried to find what Nadakasi meant, and I couldn't find anything, but I thought it was funny. Did you actually mean nutcase? Look at all the bright orange. Alarm. This is alarm orange. This is Orange 33 Club orange. This is the orange color that means somebody knows the secret about Orange 33 here. Why would gorillas be covered in orange, bright orange? Because they want this to be very surface level Orange 33 Club. The gorilla, in my opinion, the gorilla is like a very surface level. I think tons of people know that they're fursuits, but I don't know. Some of them might think like, oh, well, when it's on TV, they're fursuits because they're too dangerous to... Maybe they really think that gorillas are real animals, but just that in the zoo and on TV, that... Just the way that these people seem so childish, it's like, how could they have access to information like evolution is totally made up, outer space is totally made up? It seems like a lot of them are duped in ways like they think that NASA's fake, but they still believe in aliens and stuff, or they know about all the fursuits, but they don't know that the animal itself is totally fabricated. There's no real ones. I don't know. I've never seen an Orange 33 Club person come out. I guess that's one thing that still waiting on. It seems like they really do have... I've never heard of anyone dissenting and just exposing it. Still have never heard anyone, even though it's just so obvious. Oh, so I'll finish up this video. I've already rambled too much. On the evening of the 26th of September, you see this happen a lot with the months. This is one of those things that have always bugged me, where it's like really obvious. Why is October the 10th month when it's oct, like 8? So a lot of times with the 33 coding, they do that thing. They'll treat October like 8 or September like 7. on the evening of the 26th of September, well, sept is 7. So, and 26 plus 7 is 33. So that's, this fursuit allegedly died on the 26th of September. It's just a hoax. Look at all the bright orange. They like to talk about the fact that they're used in film. Heartwarming personality was featured in several shows and films. Again with the triad claw. I mean, I showed this picture earlier, but I think they included it here on purpose. They like to show it off. The orange, all laughs, all smiles, cracking up, bright orange. That looks disgusting. They try to be foul. There was another thing in the news. I think I showed it. I'll get to it in a second. Can you just see that glove? They have bad ones here. Look at that. That looks like flesh and blood to you? Does that really look like flesh and blood to you? The suits are obvious. Once you know the secret, it breaks the magic. It doesn't look as good when you know the secret. So this was another thing in the news. They had a 33 reference right in the beginning. October 26th, so very recently, the Adorable Edition, a male, weighed in at a whopping 3 pounds. And then it's kind of like they're giving you additional information that nobody asked for. Whopping 3 pounds and is expected to nurse for about 3 years. It's like nobody asked you how long they were expected to nurse for. So why did you give a 3 reference right after a 3 reference? 3 pounds, 3 years, 33. It's just a game they play, a number game they play. They purposefully gave that additional information that nobody asked for just so that they can get 3. Guests will be able to visit the newborn and other gorillas who call the zoo home. So notice this too. They don't say that the gorillas live there. This is where the way that they speak is very specific, and it's in ways where if you know the secret, there's a hidden meaning there. And it's also like, why would you talk like that unless there's just too many instances of this where if you know the secret, the double meaning is really obvious. They call the zoo home. The gorillas call the zoo home. They're not actually saying that the gorillas live there. Because the gorillas don't live there. Gorillas are fursuits that actors get into each day, and they go do their job. So the gorillas call the zoo home, but the actors don't even live at the zoo. So do you see how this is a form of mocking, I believe, a form of that hidden communication. They love to talk on multiple levels, but they also kind of think of it as like a karmic release thing, where they say, well, I'm technically not lying. Like, I didn't tell you that the gorillas lived at the zoo. They'll be able to visit the gorillas who call the zoo home. Isn't that just a really weird way to say that somebody lives in a place? And it's because that's not even what they're saying at all. They call it home. Anyways, 33, 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. 11-3, 3-11 is like the most obvious way to reference 33 without outright saying 33. I think I've said enough. Gorillas have been in the news. They're one of those things that's shoehorned into everything. It's like outer space is just always in the news. Dumb stuff for no reason. And same thing with gorillas will always be in the news. They've been talking about this with the whole virus thing. And they will always come up with fluff stories, but also ways to talk about them when nobody asked, because they got to keep their programming going. They recently had this whole thing going on. Anyways, getting gross with it. Furries, getting nasty. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.